topic that was La Nina and El Nino. That is one particular topic that I'm going to explain. So, with regards to that, one or two MCQs can come up, and for that you need to understand what exactly uh, are they and how do they impact India or Indian monsoon specifically. And then I'm going to talk about the basics of cryptocurrency today. Uh, just a minute. Yeah. So again, before I move ahead, uh, in one of the last classes, I talked about that there is special intensive revision of electoral roll going on in Bihar, and Supreme Court basically suggested election commission that you should consider Aadhaar card, ration card, and voter ID card. So just tell me, have the commission accepted the recommendation, or have they rejected that?
They accepted.
Sorry, I believe the voice wasn't clear.
Ma'am, they accepted because it is a order of the Supreme Court.
So,
Ma'am, actually, they didn't accepted it as far as I have read in a newspaper today.
yeah, so as far as the
Because
newspaper and the news concerns, uh, election commission has not accepted that particular Supreme Court ka suggestion. I've talked about the backdrop about what is the special intensive revision. For that, if you need, just refer to the previous classes, because I believe a lot of people are new in today's class. So just refer to that. I was just adding on the recent point that they have not accepted that particular suggestion, and now Supreme Court would be further hearing this particular issue on 28th of July. Then again, uske baad aaj ka newspaper was more or less concerned about the Mumbai train incident, where like five people were death sentenced and seven people were sent to life imprisonment over there, due to like the specific concerns raised by Bombay High Court were that all the people had identical or same confessions, and also there was lack of reliable material in this particular decision. So they have the people who were sentenced to death are like no are no longer sentenced to that particular punishment. And again, if I talk about this topic, then death sentence get important, death sentence and life imprisonment. And this was, I believe, one of the first class that I took up with regards to that. अगर मैंने उसमें I covered in my notes that which was the particular decision, or which was the particular Supreme Court's judgment that talked about that death sentence should be provided in rarest of rare cases. The people who have taken my class, do you memorize that? So that was Bachchan Singh's judgment, and along with that, you need to memorize that which was the last particular case जिसमें actually a person was hanged and death sentence was provided. Because when you look at the district court's judgment, the death sentence is provided in like lot of cases, but actually when a person is hanged, the rate of the people being hanged is like very less in comparison to the people who are being provided death sentence in the district courts initially. So I'll say look at those notes again, because this topic gets important with regards to this again. So yeah, it was like 2015 verdict, and it has not been upheld by the Bombay High Court. Yeah, that was it. Also, कल ही हमने बात की थी that E3 countries are saying that if Iran doesn't come to the negotiating table again, then a snapback mechanism can be initiated by these E3 countries against Iran as per the JCPOA agreement of 2015. Right now, today's update is that Iran has agreed to come to the negotiating table, and that is going to take place in Turkey. Along with that, Russia and Ukraine are also going to come to the negotiating table. Right now it's not confirmed, but they have also almost kind of accepted that we are going to talk about we are going to like talk about all the issues in Istanbul specific. ठीक है. Yeah, that was it, I believe, that I have to add for today. उसके बाद let's come like if I'm clear till here, let's come to today's topic.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
All right. ठीक है. Today I'm going to talk about FCRA. If you have any basic idea about what FCRA is, anyone? So before
No,
yeah.
ma'am.
All right. So FCRA, like I have the first slide basically consists of some newspaper article ki heading, so you get the context in which I'm teaching FCRA specifically. So see, right now FCRA का सीधा सा काम होता है कि अगर किसी भी एनजीओ को फॉरेन फंडिंग चाहिए, दे हैव टू गेट देमसेल्व्स रजिस्टर्ड अंडर FCRA. ठीक है. फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन रेगुलेशन एक्ट 2010. Initially, it was introduced in 1976 during the time of emergency. Or at that time, the aim was कि जितने भी foreign funding provide की जा रही है, the foreign funding basically doesn't impact India in a negative way, to just control the impact of these foreign fundings. This particular FCA se pehle the predecessor was introduced in 1976, and after that we came with FCRA specifically in the year 2010. So the basic aim here is that अगर किसी भी एनजीओ या फिर एसोसिएशन को फॉरेन से कोई भी फंडिंग, they have to receive that, they have to get themselves registered under this particular foreign contribution regulation act. That is mandatory. Without this, you cannot basically receive foreign fundings, and that this particular registration has to be renewed after every 5 years. And before this uh, the registration expires, उससे 6 महीने पहले you have to basically put it out that we want to renew our registration somewhere. ठीक है. उसके बाद yeah, 2010 में we came up with FCRA. उसके बाद a major and a significant amendment was made in 2020, then 2022, bit of amendment in 2024, and can others confirm? बाकी लोगों को सुनाई दे रहा है?
Yes.
Ma'am, right now it's audible, but अभी थोड़े time पहले it was not audible.
All right, I'll just keep it close. So at any time, if you are not able to hear me, just switch on your mic and just tell me, because there's no point that I continue on speaking when you're not able to hear me out. All right. So I believe I'll repeat मैंने जो भी पहले बोला था. अभी तक all I've said about FCRA's Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that in 1976 जो भी इसके पहले वाला related act was introduced, and at that time like at the time of emergency, what was the basic aim at that time कि जितनी भी foreign fundings आ रही हैं, we need to control the impact of those foreign fundings. उसके बाद 2010 में we came up with Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and आज के टाइम पे अगर किसी भी एनजीओ या फिर रिलेटेड एसोसिएशन को कोई भी फॉरेन फंडिंग रिसीव करनी है, इट्स मैंडेटरी फॉर देम टू गेट देम रजिस्टर्ड अंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर 2010 का एक्ट. हर 5 साल में आपको रिन्यू कराना होता है, एंड बिफोर दीज 5 years और द रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्सपायर्स, उससे 6 महीने पहले यू हैव टू टेल और यू हैव टू जस्ट notify that our registration is going to get finished this year and we want to renew it before 6 months. Uske baad, I was saying that this particular act was introduced in 2010. Major amendment was made in 2020. Then some minor amendments were made in 2022 and 2024. Now again, some I can say major amendments have been again made in 2025, just a month back. So with regards to that, because the amendment have been made and it's in news a lot of time, because abhi Maharashtra se related there was a NGO, they have been provided with the registration here, whereas it was in controversy that some years back when uh, it was either Karnataka or Kerala. Well, that's not important. So at that time they were not provided with the registration, so that was some particular controversy related to that. And
Ma'am,
also
again your
a
voice
lot
is
of
breaking.
NGOs, unka jo bhi registration hota hai, that is qualified to, is it fine now? Wait, uh, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. All right, all right. So where was I? Huh. Also from like lot of times the registration of a lot of NGOs is nullified, and also because most of these NGOs are into the social welfare programs, so lot of controversies around this topic revolves. And also leaving that aside, amendment have been made in this particular year, so that also makes this particular topic important. ठीक है. उसके बाद come here. Yeah, I've already told you that you cannot receive foreign funding unless you have been registered under this 2010 Act, except अगर government तुम्हें specifically provide कर रही है that even if you are not registered, still you can receive the foreign funding. That is one particular exception. This particular registration is provided for 5 purposes specifically, that is social, educational, religious, economic and cultural. These are the 5 purposes जिनके लिए ये registration provide किया जाता है. The ministry that implements it gets important, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. And also it's not like it has been reiterated in this particular amendment as well, that it's not like that you are receiving the funds for one particular purpose and you are utilizing it for some other purpose. So for maintaining the transparency, uh, the funds, जिस चीज के लिए आपको फंड्स दिए जा रहे हैं और you are receiving these foreign funds, it should be utilized for the same purpose. Again, it's valid for 5 years and you need to apply for renewal for 6 months before the expiry. All right. Then I told you the year 2020. What specifically were the amendment? First one was that the public servants cannot receive the foreign funding through this particular act, and for uh, receiving these foreign contributions, Aadhaar card was made necessary for all the people out there who are receiving these foreign contributions. उसके बाद ये जितने भी foreign contribution, if any person is receiving, that can only be received in one particular bank account, and that particular bank account would be the branch of State Bank of India, New Delhi. सिर्फ उसी में that is one particular account in which you can receive these foreign contributions. उसके बाद the next one was that in FCRA 2010, the limit for administrative contribution for administrative purpose was 50%. Now see, अगर कोई भी NGO है, उसके expenses हम देखते हैं, so it's going to be mainly the administrative expenses and the project expenses. So the project expenses are like any social welfare program if they are running, that is the project. And obviously अगर उसको आपको run करना है तो कुछ administrative expenses भी आपको incur करने पड़ेंगे. So with regards to 2010, the limit was for these particular administrative purposes के लिए that 50% of the contributions can be used. In the 2020 amendment, this particular 50% was reduced to 20%. कि आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पर्पस के लिए जो भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है उसका सिर्फ 20% यूज कर सकते हो. ठीक है. सो जस्ट टेल मी, एम आई क्लियर टिल हियर?
Oh, yes, ma'am, clear.
All right. Then, as I told you that just this year, so see, I told you I've taken the newspaper
एक्सक्यूज मी
headlines.
मैम,
Yeah.
मैम मुझे पूछना था कि मैम इस टॉपिक से मैम क्लैट किस टाइप से क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं?
So see, while I was also giving my clat, it was relevant at that time also. सबसे पहली चीज, they can directly ask you कि FCRA है क्या, and in which particular year this was introduced. What are the aims and also what are the recent amendments? जो भी अभी recent amendments हुए हैं, they can ask you from that. उसके बाद अभी I'll be coming to the 2022 में जो भी, well 2022 के amendment उतने important नहीं है, पर अभी जो recent amendment हुए हैं उसमें a lot of newspaper headlines are coming up with that जो भी media से related outlets hai, they all those who are receiving the foreign fundings, they will not be able to uh, go ahead with their news anymore. So well, that is like a lot of newspaper headlines are coming out in favor, and as far as I have read, one or two are saying that that's not the ground reality. बट विद दैट रिगार्ड्स उसमें ये आ जाएगा कि अगर मीडिया से रिलेटेड कुछ भी इस बारे में बात हुई है, तो हाउ इज दैट गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट मीडिया, क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा है कि अगर किसी भी इंसान को सी अगर कोई भी रिसीव कर रहा है, सो राइट नाउ द रीसेंट अमेंडमेंट दैट हैव बीन मेड, उनको 3 साल का अपना जो भी पूरा एक्सपेंसेस हैं उसको डिवाइडेड, लाइक अभी तक द काइंड ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स दैट दे गेव वर द एग्रीगेटेड रिपोर्ट्स, उन्होंने पूरा बता दिया कि दिस वाज द कंट्रीब्यूशन एंड दिस वी हैव यूटिलाइज्ड, दिस अमाउंट इज समथिंग दैट वी हैव यूटिलाइज्ड. अब उनको क्या करना पड़ेगा, उन्हें बताना पड़ेगा दैट एसेट वर्सेस लाइबिलिटी, कितनी एसेट है कितनी लाइबिलिटी है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव में कितना यूज हुआ है, प्रोजेक्ट में कितना यूज हुआ है, ये इस पूरी उसकी उनको लास्ट 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर्स की पूरी रिपोर्ट देनी पड़ेगी. एंड अगर वो ये डिस्टिंक्शन प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, उसके बाद उनको एक सीए से एक पर्टिकुलर सर्टिफिकेट बनवाना पड़ेगा दैट दिस इज द रीजन. So the recent amendments, they can ask that what was like the ईयर, कितने लास्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर का आपको ये पूरा फाइनेंशियल डेटा या रिपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ेगी. एम आई क्लियर?
मीन्स हम ये पिछले पीवाईक्यूज में आ चुका है.
सॉरी
मैम क्या ये पहले कभी रिपीट हो चुका है?
While I was saying that it was important when I prepared for that, I meant to say that we saw this particular topic in like lot of mocks. I wasn't saying that it came up in CLAT.
ओके मैम, क्लियर.
ठीक है. Also, because you have asked and I was about to come about to the topic that what have been the recent amendments, you'll able to get that better if I work in the chronological series, right? So I'll talk about that, पर अभी मैं जहाँ थी I'll get back there. Yeah. So to show the relevance, why is this topic important and why you need to read that, I have included the timeline as well. Newspaper articles timeline I have included that these are the current affair topic, these are going in news and you need to somewhere prepare these as well. All right. Now I said that already that just this year FCRA ka registration has been provided to Maharashtra Chief Minister's Relief Fund. Before that PM Care को provide किया गया था March 2020 में during COVID-19 pandemic. डिफरेंस इनमें क्या है दैट आई हैव आल्सो मेंशन दैट आज के टाइम पे जो महाराष्ट्र सीएम रिलीफ फंड को रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोवाइड किया गया है, दे हैव बीन प्रोवाइडेड लाइक डायरेक्ट एफसीआर रजिस्ट्रेशन, बट दैट वाजंट द केस इन पीएम केयर. उसके बाद आई टोल्ड यू कि दिस is the first time that a state government relief fund has been granted FCRA license. Again, they can ask that just this year, first time a state government relief fund has been granted FCRA license. What is the name of that particular state? All right. If I'm clear till here, just tell me. I'll move to the next slides.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So till now I've talked about कि 2010 वाला जो पूरा FCRA का एक्ट आया था उसमें क्या था, 2020 में क्या अमेंडमेंट्स हुए. Now comes that now comes 2022 में क्या अमेंडमेंट्स हुए थे. This I have already included in ऊपर वाली स्लाइड में कि आधार was mandated to the 2020 amendment. ठीक है. उसके बाद 2022 में अगेन पहले अगर आपको अपने रिलेटिव से भी if you have to receive money from your relative from abroad, then the limit was 1 lakh. Like a person can in India can receive 1 lakh from their relatives residing abroad without notifying the government. The key point here is without notifying. Now in the 2022 rules, that amount has been increased to 10 lakhs. Uske baad again, through this, like a lot of important NGO like Oxfam India and the think tanks like these one have lost their ability to source foreign donations in past because their registration under this particular FCRA was nullified somewhere. All right. Am I clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. उसके बाद अभी just like a month back, through a particular notification, again I told you the ministry for this FCRA को control कौन सी ministry कर रही है, that is Ministry of Home Affairs. That is important and they have amended this particular rule again. उसके बाद अब जो amendments 2025 में अभी हुए हैं, they are important. सबसे पहली चीज, again they have reiterated that we need to somewhere ensure the transparency of the funds that are being received by these NGOs. जिस purpose के लिए आपको ये funds मिले हैं, you have to utilize them for the same purpose. It's not like कि आप किसी और purpose के लिए receive कर रहे हो and you use them or utilize them for some other purpose. Because FCRA say the main point of contention here remains that by foreign suppliers are supplying money to people in India, and though that kind of money is being used in like terrorist activities or drug related activities. So that is one point of contention. Also with regards to media, you might have heard that it's alleged that this particular media receives funding from this particular country, and so they provide the news in favor of that particular country. I believe you might have heard about that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is alleged about a lot of news channels, and with regards to that they say कि foreign contribution आप देकर आप इंडिया में misinformation spread करवा रहे हो, और जो media outlets ये foreign contributions लेती हैं, they are somewhere not putting out the true news to public of India and they are somewhere favoring that particular country. ठीक है. उसके बाद सबसे पहली चीज, we need to ensure the transparency, purpose same रहना चाहिए. उसके the second thing I told you that to prevent misuse. And again अभी जब किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था, I told you अब the NGOs will have to disclose कि last 3 financial years में कितनी एक्टिविटीज पे उन्होंने कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन यूज किया है. Earlier they used to provide the aggregated data that this is something we received and this is something we have spent or we have utilized. अब they will have to provide the different or the differentiated data, like आज के टाइम पे आपके पास लाइबिलिटी कितनी है, असेट कितना है, उसके बाद आपने प्रोजेक्ट में कितना यूज किया, आपने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क में कितना यूज किया. दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ डिस्टिंक्शन जिसमें उन्हें बताना पड़ेगा कि कितनी एक्टिविटी में आपने कितना पैसा लगाया है. एंड इफ दे कैन नॉट प्रोवाइड दिस पर्टिकुलर ब्रेक, then they will have to get a certificate from a CA who will explain that why these particular will basically cite the reason. That's it. Are the first 3 points clear?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. The most important point is, just a minute. Yeah. So come here. Now you'll have to provide more detailed financial disclosures and compliance. And yeah, here. अब अगर हम न्यूज आउटलेट्स की बात करें, if they are bringing out any publications, या तो a particular newspaper, a particular media outlet, they'll have to confirm that they are not engaged in production or broadcast of any kind of news, or if they are registered with this registrar of newspapers for India, they'll have to provide this no newspaper certification. उसके बाद अगर कोई भी एनजीओ है उनको FATF, we have talked about that a lot when I was talking about blacklist and grey list, उसका एक particular good practice guidelines है, they'll have to adhere to that particular guideline also. So that was it for the recent amendments. पब्लिकेशन एक्टिविटीज से क्या रिलेटेड है, दैट आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट. फाइनेंशियल डिस्क्लोजर करने पड़ेंगे, FATF कंप्लायंस होना चाहिए, एंड या दैट वाज इट. If I'm clear till here, like this was the end of this particular topic, just tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
उसके बाद हमने एक और जस्टिस यशवंत वर्मा के बारे में भी एक क्लास में बात की थी. एंड व्हेन आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट, आई सेड दैट राइट नाउ impeachment has not been initiated, and just the recent news ki Vice President of India, Mr. Dhankar, has resigned, and that particular resignation is being somewhat related to the like he cited that because more than 100 MLAs, MP in Lok Sabha and more than 50 in Rajya Sabha have given assent to this particular impeachment thing. So we can go ahead with that. So reading the newspaper articles, this particular resignation is being somewhat related to that, because ruling party wasn't really happy with the impeachment of this particular judge. Now just tell me that I just told you that this particular requirement that more than 100 MLAs in Lok Sabha and more than 50 in Rajya Sabha. This is a requirement according to one particular act, and I've talked about that in the previous classes. Just tell me the name of that particular act. All the people who have done the classes, they need to know that Judges Inquiry Act it was, and I did talk about that in the class, and 1968. Again, this is like a very direct question, and abhi jo recent news hai that already 145 MPs from Lok Sabha and 63 from Rajya Sabha have given their assent. Okay. Coming to the next topic, we are going to look at the mechanism of El Nino and La Nina, so that we do not have to basically cram this particular concept. Does anyone has any idea hota kya hai?
Yes, ma'am. Ocean currents, ma'am. पेरू कंट्री के साइड में उनका एक्टिविटीज की वजह से होता है. हर 5 years पे होता है एल नीनो की वजह से इंडिया में शायद ड्रॉट आता है, और ला नीना की वजह से शायद फ्लड आता है.
हाँ, ठीक है. अभी I'll cover this topic quickly. So see, this is the Pacific Ocean. So this particular phenomena of El Nino and La Nino takes place around this Pacific Ocean, and through this Pacific Ocean passes the equator. इक्वेटर पे वी नो कि सबसे ज्यादा गर्मी इक्वेटर पे ही होती है, ठीक है। उसके बाद हियर द मेन role is played by the trade winds, and the trade winds move from east to west. So this is how exactly the trade winds are going to move. So due to those trade winds, the temperature over here around Asia and Australia, and somewhere we have here Australia, Indonesia, and Asia. So, like just near in the slide B, just here we have Australia and Indonesia, two like one of the main countries. यहाँ पर due to these trade winds, the temperature over here basically increases. Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. So the temperature in this particular area increases, and because we have read that in our science classes, don't ask me the logic because I'm not a science student. But see, that is established fact that temperature here increases, and जहां पर भी temperature ज्यादा होता है, we have low pressure over there. And just the difference, because trade winds are moving from east to west, यहाँ पर temperature कम होता है, and we have high pressure here. Am I clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. उसके बाद टेम्परेचर ज्यादा है एंड लो प्रेशर है, तो all the winds, the hot wind here somewhere rises because it somewhere needs to cool itself down. So the hot air rises, and the rising of this particular hot air leads to rain in this particular region. Like this is the normal circumstance of this particular region. This leads to rain here, and that is why in normal circumstances this is the particular area जहां पर काफी रेन होती रहती है, यहाँ पर इतना सूखा नहीं पड़ता compared to this particular region. ठीक है. उसके बाद होता क्या है कि when we talk about the concept of La Nina, the trade winds here somewhere get stronger, and if the trade winds are gonna get stronger means जहां पर जो normally यहाँ पर टेम्परेचर ज्यादा ही रहता है इस पर्टिकुलर रीजन में. I'll take this. इस पर्टिकुलर रीजन में नॉर्मली टेम्परेचर ज्यादा ही रहता है, बट बिकॉज द ट्रेड winds through La Nina gets even stronger, the temperature rises even further, more hot air goes up, और जो यहाँ पर रेन होती है that is more than the standard amount of rain that takes place in this particular region. जिस वजह से this particular area experiences flood like conditions, and this particular area experience drought like conditions. Again, the very opposite is El Nino. El Nino में क्या होता है, the trade winds here are not that stronger. They are like we have weaker trade winds in El Nino. So this particular area, the area of South Africa, experiences the temperature rise. It's not that ki, when I'm talking about temperature rise, it's comparative to the normal circumstances that I've talked here. So with regards to that, यहाँ पर temperature ज़्यादा होता है, and when we experience the El Nino, at that time, the rain we experience in this particular region is more, and here we experience drought-like conditions. Why is this particular topic important? Because a lot of important environmental organizations have cited that due to ever increasing carbon dioxide, these particular phenomena of El Nino and La Nina are increasing, and what is it's going to lead is extreme weather conditions. So that is one particular reason that why you need to know this, because अभी मैंने बताया कि ला नीना में इस जगह पर बहुत ज्यादा फ्लड लाइक कंडीशंस हो जाती हैं, whereas एल नीनो में इसी जगह पर they are like drought like conditions. So due to these extreme weathers, this particular topic gets important. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Others? All right. Now moving to the last topic, and I won't take like a lot of time here. So see, before you understand cryptocurrency, so cryptocurrency mein, a lot of you would think that the static information gets important, but again, while we are talking about cryptocurrency, CLAT can ask the very basic information as well, that blockchain technology kya hoti hai. Is anyone aware of like blockchain technology? So while we are talking about cryptocurrency, India, we have like Bitcoins and Dogecoins. India came up with like its uh, digital currency in the year 2022, जिसका नाम था Central Bank Digital Currency. And also with regards to India, in the budget of 2022 to 2023, they started imposing like 30% tax on the cryptocurrency as well as NFT. ठीक है. उसके बाद अगर हम क्रिप्टो करेंसी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, वी नीड टू नो कि दिस पर्टिकुलर क्रिप्टो करेंसी इज बेस्ड ऑन ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी. ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी होती क्या है? सो when we go to like we talk about any normal circumstances, records are maintained. अगर हम क्रिप्टो करेंसी की ट्रांजैक्शन की बात करते हैं, तो उसका रिकॉर्ड्स आर स्टोर्ड इन दीज पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक्स. सिंपल. And then what's the significance of storing these particular records in these particular blocks is कि in the normal circumstances अगर कोई भी record है, tampering could be done with those particular records, but once the records have been saved, have been verified, and have been recorded in these particular blocks, you cannot tamper with these particular sorry. Once the transaction has been verified, the records have been put in this particular block, they cannot be tampered with, and this particular record gets permanent. If at any point of time these blocks are connected to each other, making them a blockchain, and if at like any point anyone tries to tamper with one of the block, पहली बात तो होगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि a verification would be needed. But if at any time anyone tries, so these particular, through the blocks that have been connected, you'll get to know that someone has tried tampering with these particular blocks. तो सबसे पहली चीज है, sorry हाँ, कि blockchain technology के through we store records in these block, and the significance of storing the records in these particular blocks is that you cannot tamper with these records anymore. It's not like कि blockchain technology सिर्फ क्रिप्टो करेंसी में यूज होती है. NFT की अगर हम बात करते हैं, NFT में भी blockchain technology यूज होती है, and it's like when you talk about the advantage of this particular blockchain technology, we can use them in the areas like medical also, maintaining the records in the hospitals or anywhere else. It can be used in these particular fields as well. ठीक है. उसके बाद इस ब्लॉक को ही हम कहते हैं पब्लिक लेजर. एंड अगेन उसके बाद आई वाज सेइंग कि इस पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक में अगर कोई रिकॉर्ड एक बार परमानेंटली रिकॉर्ड हो जाता है, then you cannot tamper with that. How does this particular record gets permanently stored? So see, अगर आपको कोई भी क्रिप्टो चाहिए, तो सबसे पहली चीज है you can purchase that. Or the another option you have is that you can do crypto mining. Does anyone has any idea crypto mining में होता क्या है? ठीक है. क्रिप्टो माइनिंग में what you try is you try to get some cryptocurrency in form of reward rather than purchasing it directly. इसमें जो भी कोई ट्रांजैक्शन हो रही है, अब अगर मान लो हम बैंक के केस में ट्रांजैक्शन को देखते हैं, तो ये ट्रांजैक्शन वगैरह वेरीफाई करने का जो भी काम होता है वो बैंक का होता है. यहाँ पर वी डू नॉट हैव एनी रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी, एंड दैट इज one of the main reason why RBI is not really happy with these sort of transactions, because these currencies are very much volatile and you do not have any regulatory authority over here. Normal circumstances mein hum देखें, then we have bank as a regulatory authority. Here, for verifying these transactions, we do not have bank. यहाँ पर these crypto miners, what they are going to do is they are going to verify these particular transactions. How do they verify? They are going to be provided with some very difficult mathematical kind of problem, and there are a lot of crypto miners who are solving these mathematical problems, and the one who solves it first gets one some cryptocurrency in form of reward. And also this solving these mathematical problems is not easy. Normal people like us can't solve it because you need like very hi-fi kind of computers to solve this particular mathematical problem, and they are like very complex. Uske baad, with regards to this problem solving, I told you that very hi-fi and the computers that use high amount of energy are used for solving this. So in this regards, environmental, it's said that this particular practice is not at all eco-friendly also. Once they solve these particular mathematical problems, they verify the transaction gets stored in these particular blocks, and the record gets permanent. You basically cannot tamper with that, and a block is also known as public ledger. That was it, and that is how the transaction of cryptocurrency basically operates, and this was blockchain technology. Also, when I was talking about NFT, that is non-fungible tokens, I told you that it operates on the same technology, that is NFT. इसमें difference क्या है, that cryptocurrency is basically the digital currency, पर NFT में see, when you talk about fungible and non-fungible, so fungible, if you talk about non-fungible, it's something that is unique, that we cannot exchange in place of something else. Like if I talk about a very, very unique painting or something, you cannot exchange it with something else. So something that cannot be exchanged with the other things, that is something known as non-fungible. And also, while we are brokering any of the deal related to the property, we have those contracts signed. But with regards to this NFT, all the agreements that are done are not basically signed over here. They are not touchable. That makes it token. So that is why these are non-fungible tokens, जिसमें कुछ unique चीजें होती हैं that cannot be replaced for some other things, and this is non-fungible token. ठीक है. And again, this operates on the blockchain technology. That was it. Did you understand what was blockchain technology?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. उसके बाद, just come here, I have mentioned some properties of cryptocurrency, and the first cryptocurrency to be introduced was Bitcoin. They do not have any intrinsic value, they do not have any physical form, and they are not determined by any central bank as such. And again, when we talk about blockchain technology, they are not regulated by any of the bank, or they don't have any regulatory authority. All right. So I believe we have covered that. Yeah. Again, the first digital currency, the first cryptocurrency that was introduced was Bitcoin in the year 2009. The year gets important, and so at first it was intended to be an alternative to fiat money. The physical kind of money that we use is known as fiat money, and at that time it was intended to be the alternative to it. Again, I won't go in deep, but if you talk about if you talk if you talk about India specifically, so India में RBI is not really happy with these currencies. So one of the like main reasons are कि यहाँ पे कोई regulatory authority नहीं है. If at all any kind of frauds happen, so there's no one responsible over here. You are the person who is just basically responsible here. जहाँ अभी अगर कोई फ्रॉड हो जाता है बैंक वगैरह में, तो we can make the bank liable somewhere, but here no one is out there to take the liability, and you are the sole person who is liable. And again, so RBI is like not really happy with such kind of currencies. And उसके बाद with इंडिया ने खुद का रिटेल फॉर्म में इंट्रोड्यूस किया था, and it was supposed to be kind of experiment. And in 2022 they introduced central bank digital currency, और 2022 to 2023 के बजट में उन्होंने कहा था कि जो भी NFT और क्रिप्टो करेंसी होगी उस पे वी आर गोइंग टू इम्पोज 30% टैक्स. That was it. Now if you have any doubt, just ask, or we are more or less done.
Ma'am, USA has also came up with a bill, Genius bill.
Sorry.
Regarding the cryptocurrency, US has come up with a bill called Genius Bill.
So see, as far as I am aware, US is going to start its own Bitcoin ka stock. I can't say stockpiling. I don't memorize that particular word, but they are going to make a collection or something. They are going to come up with that. I'm not aware about what bill you are talking about. पर अभी उनका ये आया था कि वो बिटकॉइन का कुछ स्टॉक पाइलिंग या कुछ रिजर्व दे आर गोइंग टू जस्ट बिगिन विद देयर बिटकॉइन का रिजर्व. इज इट दैट?